Hello, Tommy and Sharnee. Welcome to Hong Kong, and I know that it's not your first time to be here, but this time you are the racing jockey for John Moore. Why would you like to come to Hong Kong for a long period of riding at this stage?
I think it's just worked out really well with the way my family's situated now. I've got 2 kids and they're at the right age where when I first came here I had obviously a great time, won on military attack on my first meeting and just had a lot of luck with John, and he obviously asked me to come and be stable rider for him, but I felt just at that stage that I was too young and I just wasn't prepared and wasn't ready to move away from home and move away from my family full time. So I knew that I'd probably get halfway through a season and want to go back, and I didn't want to let John down at all and get halfway through a season and not be able to fulfill my commitment. So we came back the following year for 3 months again, and that was just after my brother passed away. So obviously that was a really tough time for me, and I really didn't want to come for the 3 months, but once again I wanted to honour my commitment with the club and come back and ride here, and I had once again a great season again, and went home, and then we had the birth of Caden and a few things going on in our life. So there was just a few different reasons why we couldn't come back, but as I said, John offered again and said, I'd really love you to come back this time. He said, I think we've had 10 Group 1 winners together, and he said, I think it's about time you come and earn them. And I said, oh, that's a great idea. So I spoke to Sharnee about it, and lucky she was all for the idea, and we're really happy here. We've all settled in well, so it's great to see.
Personally, I think I pushed Tommy into it as well, because I know that if he doesn't do it, it's something he's always wanted to do, and at the end of the day, Australia's home. It always will be. Hong Kong's never going to be our first home. So I thought, well, if he doesn't do it now, he'll regret it, and I don't want him to regret it later in life or be upset that he didn't do it. So I'm happy to move for him, and now we have a family, it's different. Like, we've got each other, so that's the main thing, I guess.
You have a very successful career in Australia, so I'm sure that John Moore offered you really good money to come to Hong Kong?
Yeah, no, look, they look after me very well, and I've got a great working relationship with John and a great relationship with him off the track, him and Fifi and his son George. So I'm very lucky to have their support here, not only on the track but off the track as well, and they've looked after me very well since, well, before I got here and now. So as I said, I was very lucky to be able to fly to and from, as Hugh Bowman's been doing in the last couple of years as well, and ride some of John's top horses like Designs and Rome and Helene Paragon. So I'm glad I'm here now, and hopefully we can have a good season.
We talk about Nathan's. After he passed away, and then you won the medal for him, and I'm sure that it has been really emotional.
Yeah, no, it was very tough for our whole family. It was something that we didn't expect. It was a very big shock to us, but you know, life has a funny way of revealing things, and that's something, like I said, that really shocked our family and rocked us for quite a while. But it's something that we'll probably never get over, but we've learnt to deal with it, and I've got a great support from my wife, obviously Sharnee. She's been incredible, and her family, and to help my family and what they've done for Mum, Dad, my sister and myself is incredible. So we're very lucky to have Sharnee and her family on our side to sort of help us get through what we've had to get through, and we're very lucky in that way.
Can you share something that you with your brother as a kid when you guys growing up? Yeah,
well, obviously a bit later on in our lives when we were race riding, when EI hit, we went over to WA to ride for a few months, and I remember coming in after the last race, and Nathan said, oh, can you do me a favour and go into the steward's room for me? I think I caused a bit of trouble in the last race, but I've got a date to go on with a girl. So I said, all right, I'll do that for you. So I changed into his silks, went in the steward's room, and he told me it was just a small little incident, but he knocked down about 4 or 5 people. So it didn't turn out that small, but I think he copped a couple of weeks suspension on that occasion. But you know, that was just one of the funny things that us as twins were able to do, and you know, a few tricks we used to play. So that was probably one of the better ones for our apprenticeship.
You told me that he is the only one person that you share the frustrations. How about now?
Yeah, well, Sharnee probably cops a bit more of my frustrations now, but yeah, he was someone that I could talk to, and he used to give me great advice, obviously, all the time. But my father, I always go to him when I need advice, and obviously my wife Sharnee. So between those two people, they've probably copped a lot more, you know, a lot more of my frustration than they probably used to. But as I said, I've got a great family support behind me, so they've sort of picked up the pieces.
he has a really good impact on you is he do a lot of charity works, which is really good for the kids as well. Tell us something about the charity works that you're involved.
Yeah, well, we lost one of our nieces, or one of our cousins, sorry. I think it was probably about 12 years ago now. So that sort of got us into doing charity work for kids, and it really held a soft spot in our heart. So Nathan started off 4 Tracks for Kids with Richard Callender. They started doing that quite a while ago, and I obviously got on board a little bit later with that, and that was something we used to do every year, and that was good fun. We used to do every year, obviously at Christmas time. Nathan used to go to the hospital at Randwick, and I used to go to, which one did I go to? I think there was another one I used to go to anyway, and so we used to dress up as Santa and go to those hospitals and give presents out to the kids, and obviously I did Beards of Hope this year. I'm very good friends with Ty England, and so Sharnee with Erin, so they obviously lost their twins maybe a couple of years ago now, so that was something that we shared with them very closely, and we were able to help them and raise quite a bit of money as well. So it's something we really enjoy doing, and something that I'll continue to do for the rest of my life.
You guys set a really good model, because as a young generation, at least we do something for the charity, for the society and the community.
I think we take a lot for granted, especially when you do become successful. I've had a lot of success in my life, but I feel like going to the hospital every year and doing the 4 Tracks for Kids or charities really remind me what life is all about, and that there's a lot of people out there that are a lot less fortunate than us that we can help, and it's just all about awareness and getting other people aware of what complications families are having out there, and how much help they actually need. So I feel like me and many other people, we're just a voice for those charities, and hopefully that they continue to grow and continue to get more support along the way.
You have been partnered with so many big trainers, just like Gay Waterhouse and John Hawkes, and now John Moore. What are the differences?
I think they're all very similar, as in they're very intelligent, they're freakishly intelligent, and that's one thing they've all got in common. They're very different trainers. Gay Waterhouse is very different to John Hawkes and John Moore, where I think John Hawkes and John Moore are very similar in the way they train, I've found, and that's why I think John Moore, before he brought horses over to Hong Kong, he used to have them trained by John Hawkes, and he's still got a couple of horses with him now, and I think that's just it comes with the similarity that their training techniques are. But as I said, they're all very smart people. They've all got a great technique in their training, and they've all been very loyal to me, so that's one thing that they've got in common as well.
A few years ago you said Hong Kong would be your base, so is it any changes right now?
No, I think I'll be staying in Hong Kong for quite a while now, so looking forward to continuing the association with John, and hopefully building up a great association with a lot of the other trainers here in Hong Kong that I've ridden winners for in the past.
If he just like stay at the top, he only have 3 more seasons.
Yeah, well, it's look, another good friend of mine, Michael Freeman's training here now, so maybe when John goes, I might be able to head over to Michael Freeman. So we'll just see what happens in the future. But as I said, I'm solely concentrated on John at the moment and his team, and whatever happens in the future, we'll see.
Well, I think one of the concerns is the kids, because they are now is 2 years old.
Yeah.
And the other, your daughter is, how old is it?
She's about 9 months now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of the concerns from the parents, because they may go to the school soon.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So are you looking for some schools for them?
Yeah, I think Sharnee's looking at a school now for Caden, just a preschool for him to go to, and but then obviously once they start their proper schooling in 3 years' time, we might head home or we might stay. So that's something that I think will be the deal breaker, whether we stay in Hong Kong or head back to Australia, is whether we're happy for the kids to do their schooling here.
It's a big difference, right? When we are single and then we are in a date and then getting married and now have the kids. So you just go through everything over the past 4 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how things can develop and change in your life. But yeah, look, you know, 4 years ago it was just Sharnee and I. We could get on a plane and fly anywhere in the world without a hassle. But now wherever we travel, we've got 16 bags with us and 2 kids and 2 prams and baby seats and everything. So it's definitely a lot more difficult now, but I definitely wouldn't change it for the world.
You told me before that you want to win the overseas race, the Arditrio, and in your nation is just we want to win the Melbourne Cup. Is it Any changes now?
No, look, it's obviously the Arc de Triomphe's a goal that I've set because it's almost impossible to do, you know, for an Australian jockey. So it's something that I'd love to just have a ride in the Arc de Triomphe, let alone then win one. It's an incredible race. I think it's one of the best races on the calendar anywhere in the world. And the Dubai World Cup, I was lucky enough to go there last year with John Moore and not listening to me. And I wanted to win a World Cup before I went there, and it's I want to win it even more now that I've been there. It's a great atmosphere. It's a beautiful place, and you know the prize money is incredible. So, but winning another derby here in Hong Kong, I won it obviously with Designs in Rome a few years ago, and that's the pinnacle I think of Hong Kong racing, winning the derby. So John's usually got the right horse to do it, and hopefully we can do it again this season.
You have written so many champions, just like in Hong Kong Military Attack, Able Friend, and Designs on Rome. Even on the international stages, you are winning on Chautauqua or something. What's his champion in your eyes?
A champion, I think, is Able Friend's a champion. You know, I got to win his first 2 starts on him here before he went into his derby path, and then I obviously went with Designs on Rome, and Joe stuck with Able Friend. So he was always destined to be a champion since day one. I've won aboard Winx before Huey started riding her. So she's a champion. Obviously, she's probably one of the best horses I've sat on. And Chautauqua was a champion. You know, so I'm very lucky in my short career that I've ridden 3 champions, and maybe not the whole way through their careers, but at certain points. And that's something that I'll look back with fond memories when I get older.
What do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I'm not sure. You know, I'd definitely riding, that's for one, and hopefully competing at the top of my game like I am now. But whether that's here in Hong Kong or back in Australia, I'm not too sure. But I can't see myself in the next 3 years leaving Hong Kong. I think I'll definitely be here for that long, but whatever happens after that, I'm not too sure.
How's Tommy in your eyes?
How is he?
Yeah, is he good husband, good boyfriend, or good?
Yeah, he is. He's very good. Very good. He's a hard worker, and everything he does is for the kids and I, so we're very appreciative, and he's great.
If you have a chance to tell him something or to say a word to him, what it is?
I'm not good at telling him what I really feel. I don't know, just that I love him and I'm proud of everything that he's done, and I don't care about his career or what success he has, as long as he gets around safe and comes home. That's all that I care about.